Hey, this is Marcus Washington, MTC Media. This is where NFL fans tend to not think of NFL as a business, because if they did, they would realize how stupid sometimes some of this stuff sounds. And I'll give you a prime example, and I'll get to what I'm talking about. If you think of something, and I'm in the Washington, D.C. area, if you think of something like, let's just say, someone whose job is to do UX, UI. Important job at some places, no doubt about it. And you take two different, let's just say, federal contracts. This federal contract over here is worth $300 million. The UX, UI person is an on-site worker or hybrid and speaks to the client directly. This UX UI person is offsite, 150 million contract, has no client interface with it. So this person is not seen or heard. It's just a service being provided. This one's providing the service. Seen, heard, probably have a certain level of input. So the titles are the same, but the level of importance to the title aren't the same, correct? I think we can all agree on that. And for us, some of us who have been around the Beltway for 30 years in that industry, we all know this. I'm not saying anything earth-shattering or controversial or anything like that. We all know this. So why do I bring this up in terms of the NFL? Because there's nothing more agitating to hear than, well, a running back is not an important position. You can just find another one of those. Don't overpay or overdraft the running back. And you never take into account what is that position meaning to the rest of the roster and the rest of the organization. And how important is it to get, if you want to believe that the ultimate goal is to get to the playoffs and have a chance to win the Super Bowl, then the value of it is, how important is it for that particular organization to get to those goals? Well, when you think about it that way, the value is going to be different. The value is not going to be the same in one organization to another organization, because so many things plays a factor. What's your offensive line like? What's your quarterback like? What's your wide receiver core like? What is your coach's philosophy? What is your front office and what type of people they've brought in? That's not all the same. In fact, they're probably, amongst all the clubs, it's probably 26, 27 different ways of getting there. So it would be silly, going back to my original example, for me, if I'm in both of those positions, in a leadership position in both of those positions, to simply look at a salary survey and say, well, according to this salary survey, this job is worth X, and this is what we want to pay you. That's ridiculous. The value of the contract aren't the same. The value of the position isn't the same. One is more impactful to you winning a recompete than the other. The recompete is the playoff/Super Bowl for federal contracting companies. So when you look at the Giants and their decision to let Saquon Barkley walk, when Daniel Jones is your quarterback, based on, running backs get paid, it's asinine. I mean, it's just absolutely positively ridiculous, because what that position meant to the New York Giants was probably more than what that position meant at other places. And it's not just Saquon Barkley. The Raiders with Jacobs. Oh, well, we can just get another running back. In Las Vegas, when your new coach said, we want to be a run-dominant offense, that means that Jacobs has probably more value to the Raiders than maybe Green Bay. That means Saquon Barkley had more value to the Giants than maybe Philadelphia. So this idea of always saying, but it's a running back, man, running back shouldn't only be paid, is based on what is the value to your organization in your situation. Sports might be the only industry where people want to take these little pockets and extrapolate it across an entire industry that is supposed to be competing against one another. That's crazy. No one in any real industry operates that way. I've never called another company to ask them what they're paying someone else so our salaries are around the same thing for the same position. Are you nuts? I'm competing against them. I mean, it just makes no sense, but we do it in professional sports all the time, especially in the NFL with the running back position. And it makes, from a business perspective, it makes absolutely positively no sense. And it's why the Giants are where they are. You had a quarterback that needed that running back. And you got rid of running back over some nonsense. And now you have decided that you're getting away from the quarterback. So you're starting over. You're starting over. And that's because of this nonsense and this rhetoric that the value of a position falls within this little scale for the entire league. And that'll get you broke in the real world. Marcus Washington, MTC Media.